my channel. So today I was inspired to do a look for summer since it is coming up very soon, and this is a very quick and easy look. It's just some eyeshadows and mascara, or falsies if you want to make it look a little bit more dramatic. So if you want to see how to get this look, then please keep watching. So we're going to be starting with a Makeup Geek eyeshadow color, and this is called Tuscan Sun. It's one of my favorite new eyeshadows for the summer because it's a beautiful peachy coral orange type of transition shade, and it's really beautiful, and it's really great if you have blue or green eyes. The opposition in the color wheel between those two colors help make blue and green eyes pop. So I'm just using my Morphe M441 to dust that all over the outer corners of my lid. And I'm focusing that on the outer corners just to really create a blown out effect. Next I'll be taking Mango Tango. This one is just a tad darker than Tuscan Sun, and I'm just going to be deepening it up in the outer V. Now, using my MAC 217, I'm going to be taking the color Bitten, and I'm just going to be focusing that once again on my outer V because I really want a blown out, smoky kind of look. And I'm going to be bringing that into my lash line as well, just to help blend the colors, especially when I'm going to be putting on the false lashes later on, because for this look I just wanted to do eyeshadows. I didn't want to use any eyeliner. Now I'm just going to be adding a little bit more Bitten in the outer V just to really make it pop and make it seamless. Sometimes matte eyeshadows can have a little bit of difficulty in blending, and therefore we see cracks in between. So this is all that I'm doing. I'm just like filling in the holes, if you would like to put it that way. And then we'll just be blending again with a clean fluffy brush. Now for the main eyeshadow, this is going to be a pigment actually from MAC. It's one of my favorite ones. It's called Melon. It's like a peachy gold, and I'll just be applying that with my MAC 219 brush, I believe, and I'm using Fix Plus as always. If you're going to be using anything that's, you know, like a loose pigment, you want to use a water base to apply it just so that it becomes a little bit more intense. And as you can see, it's really standing out right now. Afterwards, I'm just going to be applying a bit more of Bitten and blending out the eyeshadows just to make sure that everything is seamless. And I'll be using that same brush to bring it down into my lower lash line. For my inner corners, I'm actually just going to be using Champagne Pop. It's a bit of a peachy gold color, and I just thought it would be a good idea to put that into my inner tear duct. For my brow bone, I'm going to be using the color Mirage, which is just a matte yellow tone eyeshadow. It's just like a skin color type of shadow. And I also forgot to mention, I did use a bit of the Melon Pigment, whatever was left over on the MAC 219 brush that we used on our lids. I just applied that onto my lower lash line, which you will see afterwards. When I was filming, I didn't notice that I was putting my head a bit too low so that I couldn't capture it on camera, so anything that I did on the lower lash line kind of wasn't good enough for me to post. But anyways, so I'll be using Colourpop Swerve to line my waterline. And as usual, I'm going to be using L'Oreal Telescopic on my upper and lower lashes. If you just want to do this for, you know, a regular daytime look, you can just keep it like this and just use mascara. But in my case, I decided to use Koko lashes in Queen Bee. Now I'm just going to do a simple contour slash bronzing. For my everyday, this is kind of the type of look I go for. Nothing too crazy with contouring with cream products and then powder. I just use a bit of powder, which is typically the one from the Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D, and then I will go over it with a round brush just to clean up the harsh edges, and then my beauty blender to make things really seamless and natural looking. It's up to you if you want to make this a little bit more intense, but this is the look that I typically go for. And as usual, I'm just carving out my cheekbones, my forehead, and my lower jawline. Now to highlight, I'm going to be using my Revlon Colorstay Concealer in Light, and I'm just putting that pretty much under my eyes, and I'm going to bring it up quite a bit right up to my temples because I really want to correct any of that fallout that we had. And I'm going to be pushing it in with a flat foundation brush. I find that this works really well to really concentrate the product and help it really stand out. And then afterwards, I will use the beauty blender to push it into the skin. In my case, I'm not really a big fan of powder products on the face specifically or on the under eye area. I just find that it doesn't help with the creasing, it doesn't help the foundation from breaking apart. I do agree that baking can work really well, but it's not particularly the best idea for healthy skin. And I'm all about being closest to being natural if you are using makeup. So this is the method that I use. I don't set my face with any powders. I've had really bad breakouts in the past when I set my face with powders for days on end. So I don't do that anymore. I just use a setting spray such as Model in a Bottle. That one has been great to me. It hasn't broken me out. So if you want to go for a little bit more of a natural look and not a full cake face, that's what I suggest. For blush today, I'm going to be using Darling from BH Cosmetics, and I'll just be putting that right onto the apples of my cheeks and blending it outward into our bronzing slash contour color. And I'm going to be blending it in again with that round brush just to get rid of any harsh lines. For highlighter today, I'm going to be using Champagne Pop, and I'll be applying that onto my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, and that's pretty much it. And then I'm just going to be applying a second layer onto my cheekbones because I'm going for a really glowy look for the summer. Now for lips, I'm going to be using Soar lip liner from MAC. This is my favorite of all time. If you guys don't have it, you need to go out and get it. It's a really beautiful color. The camera's not doing it justice. For lipstick, I'm going to be using Flamingo by MAC, and on top of it, Coral Craze from Gerard Cosmetics, just putting a tiny bit to give it a little bit of a pop. Now we're just gonna set our face and then we are ready to go. So I hope you guys really like this look, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!